Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. All right, please continue to pray for me. Pray that tomorrow, when I wake up, we will have traveled back in time to the mid 2000s. There are a few things I would like to do differently in my life if I could go back then. I Uh, I know a lot now on how to approach a lot of things in life that I did not know back then. So, for example, I recently contacted, believe it or not, one of Mary Curry's granddaughters, and to my surprise, we've had a few emails back and forth. It's just too bad that I won't be traveling there anytime soon, right? I'm sure if we met up, things could go into a different, much higher gear, right? This is something that I didn't know how to do. Certainly, I mean, it was hard enough for me to contact an everyday person, let alone a celebrity. 20 years, if I had this kind of knowledge 20 years ago, things could have played out differently. Now, 20 years ago, I uh, I had a friend in college. He and I had feuded over a girl, and I think he was the winner of that feud. I would say, even though it didn't go very far after that. Now the two of us had a passion for chemistry. He showed me how to extract gold from a bunch of computer chips using a bunch of acids. And I asked him, "Well, where'd you buy the hydrochloric acid?" Now the girl that we feuded over was now working part time at a Home Depot. I mean, granted, there were quite a few Home Depots near where we lived in Pittsburgh, but still, he says, "Oh, you could buy it at Home Depot." And when he said Home Depot, it gave me a bad feeling, and I gasped. I went, "Oh, you could buy it at Home Depot." And he said, "Oh, no, no, go to Lowe's, then don't go to Home Depot." And that gave me a nice, warm, fuzzy feeling. Now, had I had the knowledge that I do nowadays, I probably would have won that feud for that girl. And unfortunately, unfortunately, he and the girl have both since passed away. He was so good at networking with it. He had the kind of knowledge that I wish I did. He was so good at networking with other people that he never had anybody more than 6 feet away from him, and that's what killed him 5 years ago. Right now, the girl's kind of interesting. She also studied chemistry, and she was always very complacent about personal safety with the chemistry equipment. If she were still alive today, we could be working with the acids and the gold, and she wouldn't put on any PPE. Oh, she'll be fine. You never run into a problem with that. And that's what killed her 3 years ago now. I mean, granted, she did it with a car, not with chemistry equipment. The complacency, right? And at least that's the way I like to think about their passings, because it makes it easier to swallow that at least they died doing what they love to do, right? And so if I could go back in time, and at the time, Eve Curry was still alive, but she passed away in 2007. And so I wish I had tried to call. I think with the knowledge I have today, had I contacted her back then, I think there's a good chance I could have gotten a response and a good chance of making connections and maybe even professional networking opportunities. Now, granted, back then I had no experience with how to talk to somebody, especially somebody almost famous, and just talking to an everyday girl around me was hard enough, let alone a celebrity like that, right? And also at the time, I didn't have all these chemistry experiments to brag to her about. I did have some, but not not the one that would impress her the most, right? And why don't we pray that tomorrow when I wake up, it's 2005 again. I get to meet my former classmate. We get to do some chemistry experiments again. And he was extracting gold from computer chips. Nowadays, I'm extracting radioisotopes from computer from the dust behind the computer, right? Very similar process, actually. I mean, granted, he was using hydrochloric and nitric acid. I'm using piranha solution. but not that dissimilar now that I think about it. Just 5 extra protons and eight more extra neutrons, right? Similar process, except that my stuff is radioactive, right? Well, actually, gold is probably radioactive too, just with a really long half life. Um, I think I did a machine learning calculation one time. The half life of gold 197 could be on the order of 10 to the power of 30 years, right? Compared to like a few months for the stuff in the dust, right? And if I could go back to 2005 and do that chemistry experiment with him, I think there's a good chance. There's a good chance of we could have resolved some differences, and I could have continued to network with all of their friends, right, and not let the feud with the girl split everything apart, right. And I would have contacted Eve Curry to brag to her about the extracting gold from the computer chips, right. And I could have had some good confidence with doing that, and there's a good chance I could have gotten some correspondence with her, and maybe network with the right people in the field as well, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.